if you pause and think about it a bit, and if you're really serious and thoughtful, what you realize is there is no form of property that you can have custody of while you're alive and after you're dead. And there is no form of property that respects your wishes after you're dead, other than Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, and the significance of that is not you need the money when you're dead. That's not the point. The point is much deeper than that. The point is, should you wish, for something to carry on, if you want a park watered for 100 years after your death, you have a method to ensure that takes place. And if I hold a gun to your head and I say, give me all your property or I will shoot you, with all other forms of property, if you say no, I shoot you and I get it anyway. So the game theory says I should just go ahead and kill you and take your property. But with Bitcoin, the game theory says if I shoot you, I get none of it because you go to the grave with your keys. So with Bitcoin, the game theory says I should ask for half. Right? And it turns out that throughout human history, people have always struggled against governments, and onerous groups, be it a monopoly or the like. But in nearly all of those cases, if they got half, they would have turned out okay.
Right.
Like normally, if they kept half, you don't like taxes, but if you kept half of your stuff, you would still be okay. The problem with taxes is they take all of it over the course of some period of time.
Right.
And you got none. You've got no recourse. So you can't even negotiate. And it turns out that Bitcoin is the first thing where you can negotiate it. And because you can negotiate it, it's property that encourages peaceful resolution.
Right.
And all other forms of property encourage violent resolution because the phrase is winner takes all, right?
Yes.
All the other properties are winner takes all. I can either negotiate with you and take half. Yeah, if the bullet cost $1 and if the gun costs $387 and if you have $1 million, I can either spend $1 and take it all, or I can negotiate peacefully with you and I can take half of it.
Yes.
But, the ROI on that last $1 bullet is $500,000.
Right.
It's 500,000 to 1. And so the problem really is other forms of property, physical property incentivize violence.
Yes.
And the game theory dictates a violent resolution. And it's even worse than that, right? Because the person that lines up 10 rich people against the wall and shoots all 10 of them ends up getting all their money. And then they're able to raise an army and they're a Mussolini or a Hitler. And then they get to go line up the next 100. And then they get to line up the next,
Right.
Pretty soon you're Stalin. Right. And there's a benefit to the most violent and they get powerful.
Yes.
But with Bitcoin, it works the opposite way. Because first of all, you can't get all of it with violence. You get none of it with violence. And the second thing is, as soon as I said, Robert, come into my, I'm going to seize all your Bitcoin, then your answer is no. Then when I say I'm sending guys to your house with guns to seize all your Bitcoin, the most likely result is you're going to wire your Bitcoin somewhere else in the universe that I don't know about, or you're going to put a multi-signature on it. And you're going to say, look, you can put your guns at me, you can shoot me, you can pull out my fingernails, but I can't give it to you. Right? It's like, okay, well, tell us who else has got the signature. Oh, somebody on a satellite has the signature. How about a computer program on a satellite has it and they've locked it up and I can't get it out. And, until you release me and I've lived happily for 5 years and then I can get it out. How do you negotiate with a computer program on a satellite?
Right.
And if you don't want that, you're just like, okay, well, I sent it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And now when that happens, the first person that attacks the Bitcoiner, he realizes that didn't work out so well. And all the Bitcoin leaves your jurisdiction. And so the attack causes a response. And so it's not, what I'm trying to say is, if you have 100 people with $1 billion of gold each in your country, you can shoot all 100 and take $100 billion, and the game theory says you should. Mm-hmm. If you have 100 people with $1 billion of Bitcoin in your country, you could hold a gun, you can incarcerate them all and get half, but you won't. Because as soon as you incarcerate one or two of the people, the other 98 will leave the country. The Bitcoin is, you see, you will end up with a country where you manage to get half of two people's Bitcoin, and 98% of the Bitcoin will exit your jurisdiction. So the real game theory says Bitcoin has an immune system, and 98 or 99% of Bitcoin departs from a hostile political jurisdiction when you start trying to seize the asset.
Right.
And that's what makes it the apex property. And in the same way, that's what makes it anti-violence. And that's what makes it a cleansing technology for the human race, because Bitcoin promotes civility.
Yes.